well Stephan's shooting, getting on the cameras. First off, it's hard to go up against a shooter who's just absolutely rolling because you feel like you have to be perfect.
Field archery is the thinking man's archery. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to come up with that phrase, though. That's why I finished second at U.S. Nationals in field archery.
It's a 6-point game now in our featured match.
Obviously, Broadwater is a freak,
Stephan Hansen of Denmark has 89.
but for mere mortals.
Got Josh Binger from the U.S. saying, depending on the course, most target shooters are pretty good at field. I'll say the other way, most field shooters are pretty good at target.
No, I bet you Josh didn't mean that.
Right.
Because in my experience, most field shooters are pretty good at target, but not the other way around. No argument here, Josh.
Yeah, I look at a guy like myself or Jesse Broadwater, and I would describe us as field shooters, you know?
Sure. And Wilkie.
And Wilkie's had his share of success out on the target range. Dave is a field shooter.
Yeah, Dave is a serious field shooter. You know, and these guys can also rock it in places like Reading, you know, which is kind of a marked field situation.
Field
but you still got to know your cuts. You got to understand. You just need to be a tinkerer to shoot field. You got to understand cause and effect.
A lot of that, and you got to be able to roll with the punches. You know, it's an ever-changing game, and
that's why I kind of raised my eyebrow years ago when they decided to have records for field. How do you do that?
When the course is never the same.
Right.
Yeah. It's almost like the ASA 3D circuit determining a record. I mean, they're never the same course. You can't really predict difficulty or anything like that. So it's, I guess, nothing more than a statistical entry.
Numbers have rolled in. I'm not sure they're 100% here because I don't think Adam Ravenscroft blanked one. Okay, there we go. Ravenscroft's ahead by 2. So that's a turnaround.
Yes.
It's a 4-point lead for Rajat Chauhan. It's a 2-point lead for Andres Cardona. It is, on the women's side, a 6-point lead for Sarah Lopez of Colombia. It's a 1-point lead for Crystal Galvin. It's a 3-point lead for Maria Vinogradova versus Andrea Marcos of Spain. So I think, my friends, with 6 arrows to go, the writing is on the wall for some of these matches.
Yeah, and
in particular, our marquee match, Stephan Hansen cruising to victory right now. He's up by 6 points.
And Sarah Lopez is his counterpart on the women's side right now. She is steamrolling her opponents. 6 points, I mean, it's not recoverable.
If there was any question whether Stephan Hansen was comfortable, Stephan has 89 of a possible 90 points. The high score on the entire field, yeah, he's comfortable.
Yep. He's going to be ready for Saturday's final. And that's, again, I'm pushing superstition aside. He's going to be there.
Well, you know, I'm not sure who can stop him right now. I'm just not sure. So we'll see. This is cool stuff. I hope everybody's enjoying it back home. I'm George Tekmitchov. I'm here with Big Cat Steve Anderson. And we are in the last 6 arrows of the quarterfinals here at the World Championships. After this will be the semifinals to decide who shoots for what color medal.
And Stephan just off there, just missing the 10 ring, takes a 9.
He could afford a couple.
Yeah, his second 9 of the round.
Yeah, it's going to be a real hard row to hoe for Mr. Vavro. He still trails by 5.
Yeah, if I'm Stephan right here,
5 arrows to go, by the way.
I'm really just trying to feel my shot execution and ingrain it.
It's good practice either way. Yep, Mr. Vavro makes it a solid shot there, 10 points, but he's given up too much ground. He's only got 4 arrows to go in the entire match. He's got to try to somehow make up 5 points. Unless something catastrophic happens, that's not going to happen. And I think, you know, Vavro with a 10-10-10 on that is just a testimony to his ability to recover. It's not a testimony to his making a run. It's too late for that.
Yeah, so we got one commentator saying they're getting a bit bored watching Stephan this week. And
sorry.
Yeah, we've got the featured matches here. We are in Denmark, so they're going to show the local Fresh Prince that is Stephan Hansen.
I think if you're a student of our sport, you'll just happily look at what's happening here and take lessons from it, because these guys have great form, and you can't pay for lessons like that. You know, personally kind of take umbrage at that remark.
Yep. We've got a question just came in. GT and Steve, do you think bigger diameter arrows are increasing in popularity compared to the small X10s?
Nope.
No, I don't. There's still enough wind out here. If you're shooting something that's in the 1964s range.
The only guys who are shooting bigger diameter arrows are getting paid to shoot bigger diameter arrows.
Yeah,
sorry.
And they all would prefer to have something smaller.
Absolutely, they would.
I'm
not gonna beat around the bush on this. There's, right now on this field of play, there's a couple people being paid a reasonable amount of money to shoot what they shoot. Stephan being one of them, right? And other than that, are there any fat arrows out there? I don't see any.
I don't see one. I think you're seeing nothing but small diameter.
In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take a look, and I'll mention it if I do see any. I saw one earlier. One of the Greek guys was using an all-carbon big diameter arrow.
Yeah, at 50
and
meters.
And he's gone, by the way. He's done.
Yeah, 50 meters indoors, I'm still going to roll X10s. It's my best shooting arrow.
They're all small diameter arrows, every one of them. And there's a reason. I'll give you an example. Easton brought out the Profield, right? Profield is an intermediate diameter arrow.
Yeah, just a slightly larger diameter arrow than the
guys
X10.
tried them. They went right back to their small diameter pro tours.
It's hard to go away from the X10, which is proven and proven and proven. And guys, regardless of diameter, they want their best grouping arrow, and that's. It's great to have some diameter to catch lines, but you'd rather just group inside the ring than
same
try
is
to
true
catch
indoors. I mean, your top scores, your world records indoors by the recurve shooters are held with, in fact, X10s, but, small diameter carbon arrows.
Yeah. Even with the compound, we've seen a lot of the guys who maybe don't have the draw length to quite break down something as big as a 27-12 at Vegas. PJ Deloche, for one, he shot his best scores in Vegas with his 23-15. So, I mean, you want to roll what works best for you. The larger diameter you can have indoors, the better. But at the same time, take what shoots the best out of your bow.
Nothing trumps grouping.
No.
Okay, Stephan Hansen with a 5-point lead going into the final 3 arrows. Yassim Bostan is trailing Sarah Lopez. Sarah's got a big advantage right now. She's got a 6-point lead. So that's the biggest gap on the field right now. Toya has reversed things against Crystal. She's up by 2.
Yep. So Crystal had
a bit of a bobble there with a 27.
28-27. Yeah, she got 5 points in 2 hands.
Yeah. Okay, and Toya responded with a 30. Maria Vinogradova of Russia with a 1-point lead over Andrea Marcos of Spain. That could come down to the wire.
Yep. Kim Yoon-hee with a 3-point lead over Natalia Avdieva. Avdieva's a shooter who we've seen throw down some huge scores in head-to-head matches, but she's a command shooter.
Yep.
She punches the trigger.
If the wind were blowing, she might have an advantage.
Yeah, when she's on, and when she's not on, she has almost no hope, and that's kind of the way it is for command shooters.
Look here. It's Adam and Demir, and we may be looking at a shoot-off on targets 23 and 24 when the dust settles.
Yeah, even heat there at 115.
And then we've got a 4-point lead for Rajat Chauhan, reversing the lead that Kevin Tatarin had here, the final 3 arrows. Let's see what happens here as the fresh prince, Stephan Hansen, continues to give us a master class in how to execute a good shot and shoot 10s. Pair of 10s from these shooters, but Mr. Vavro's is a jar licker. Stephan with another solid 10.
And
this is done.
Looking down the scores again, we got Camilo Cardona with a 4-point lead over his teammate. I had picked Daniel, and I'm going to be wrong again. And that's okay.
Well, that's why we're having the competition. We can speculate in the beginning, but when the rubber hits the road, Stephan Hansen with a triple 10, 10, 10, and he is done, my friends. We have one more arrow here. The honorable effort of Mr. Vavro of Croatia. Here it comes, and it's a 10 to finish. Good job. But not nearly enough to overcome Stephan Hansen. It is a 5-point gap. Stephan Hansen of Denmark victorious once again. That does not get boring.
No, and in a quarterfinal match under these conditions at World Championships, you've got to figure you're going to need to be 147 to win. 146 at best, you're probably going to get a tie. And Mario with a 143, I know he's probably disappointed.
What's your opinion on feathers instead of vanes? Indoors, feathers are great.
Yeah, I still roll vanes. It's, if you're shooting enough indoors, you're going to spend a lot of time fletching, which I absolutely hate.
Millions of years of dinosaur technology cannot be wrong.
Right, yeah. Feathers work fine. I've had vanes work fine, and they're considerably more durable, so I just stick to vanes.